Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mike Collette here from CrossFit Prototype. I want to go through a full body mobility, warm-up, movement prep, whatever you want to call it, routine for you guys. It's going to help prepare you for pretty much anything. If you're an outdoor athlete going for, distance runs or even short runs, climbing mountains, doing any sort of outdoor activities that involve your full body. So I want to go through a few basic exercises they can do in preparation for that. So first one, how we like to set up for our movement prep and for our mobility here at CrossFit Prototype is we like to start low and work our way up the kinetic chain. So first movement we're going to do we call walk the dog. So it's kind of a takeoff on the yoga pose, the downward dog. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up in a push-up position, hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to just hike your hips up, reaching at the shoulders, and from here what you're going to do, you're going to get on your toes, and we're going to try to drop one heel down to the ground while bending and flexing the opposite knee. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to shift your hip back and forth on that foot that's flat, and then we're just going to alternate. So we're just going to get the other foot flat on the ground, pushing the hips back and forth, keeping the opposite knee bent, and rotating. So we're going to hold each position for 3 to 5 seconds, about 10 times on each side. So if you're someone that's a big runner, if you're climbing, anything like that, where you're using your calves a decent amount, this is a good prep exercise for the calf and lower body. You might actually get a little bit into that hamstring as well. So once we get through that, we're then going to progress on to another movement to get into the hamstring. So again, like I said, we're going to be starting low, working our way up. So the next movement that's one of our favorites here, we call this the active hamstring stretch. So what we're going to do is you're actually going to now flip over in a supine position, so laying on your back. You're going to be pulling one knee up into the chest with the hands behind the leg. So what you want to do here is keep the opposite leg flush to the ground, so we don't want to bend that knee or let that hip rise off, so keep that leg flush. You're going to pull this leg in tight to your chest, keeping that hip flexed on that side, toes flexed towards the shin. You're going to gather a big breath in, and then you're going to now use your quad to try to straighten your leg. So we're going to try to stretch out that hamstring. Now we're going to hold this. You might get a little shaky like me. 3-second hold, and then relax. So notice how I'm keeping that leg pulled into my chest, using my quad to stretch my hamstring. 1, 2, 3-second hold, relax, again, when you get the end range, 1, 2, 3-second hold, and relax. And we'll perform 6 to 8 of those on each side. So again, that's called the active hamstring stretch. The next exercise that we're going to get into, it's called a rocking couch stretch. So you can do this against a wall, against a chair, or actually you can do it in without anything as well. So what you're going to do here, just using your own body weight, you're going to get into a half kneeling position. So what we want to do is make sure that this knee is directly underneath your hip, that we're not overextending or lunging too far forward to kind of displace that head of that femur in here. So what we want to do is make sure we tuck the pelvis in, squeeze the glute on this side. Now we're going to grab, bend this leg, try to grab onto and get a stretch in through this hip flexor. So what we're going to do here, now you can just relax, put this hand on here, squeezing the glute, slightly rocking forward and rocking back. So this might be an exercise that might be challenging if it's going to if you have balance issues or just the first time doing it, just getting the movement pattern down. But again, we want to squeeze on this side, rock slightly forward, and rock back. So if it's too challenging, what we can do then is use an implement like a chair or a bench or something if you're outside, and prop your leg 4 foot on the top of the chair. Again, that knee is set underneath the hip. And again, we're just tucking in, squeezing the glute, rocking back, squeeze. Again, 1, 2, 3-second hold. Slightly rock forward just a little bit, rock back, squeeze the glute. 1, 2, 3, and relax. So you're going to be feeling a nice big stretch into the quad, rectus femoris, this middle quad muscle, and a little bit into the hip flexor region as well. It's going to help prep your hips if you're doing any sort of, like I said, climbing, outdoor activities, running, just to prevent any strain of that hip flexor complex. So again, we would do 6 to 8 on each side with a 3-second hold on that rock back, really trying to contract that glute. From here, we then progress into another kind of hip mobility exercise, but also a complex as well. So we're not only going to be working the hip mobility, but we're also going to be working some thoracic mobility as well. So another favorite here at Prototype is our Spiderman hip complex. So we're going to get into a long lunge position. Okay, so now this leg's going to be back a little bit. We're going to drop this hand to the ground. We're going to actually grab onto the foot. So my left knee is up. I'm going to be grabbing onto that foot with my left arm. And from here, I'm just going to use my elbow to slightly push my knee out. This will open up the hip, get a nice stretch a little bit into the adductors on this side through here. Now what we're going to do for the complex, we're now going to lift the hip up. So pull back. Now we're going to hit this hamstring on the side. We're then going to drop back down. And then we're just going to open up and rotate and look up at the hand on that open side. So now I'm also getting a little bit of thoracic mobility as well. And we can stay on the same side here, or we actually can walk with this. So if we're going to walk with it, we can just stand up, take a step, drop down, grab the foot, place the hand, knee out slightly, lift the hip. So we're hitting this hamstring again, hold that for a few seconds, drop back down, open up, get a little rotation through the thoracic. We want to make sure we squeeze this glute on this side so we're not getting any rotation through the lower back. So we want that rotation to come from the upper back. You might feel a little stretch into the pecs as well. So that is the Spiderman hip complex. Last exercise that we're going to go through, we're going to go back down to the floor. Another nice little upper body thoracic rotation exercise, loosen up the upper back, especially if you're a big runner, you might be in a hunched position. This will help open you up a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to get in a sideline position, one leg over the top. Now ideally, if you had a foam roller, you pin the foam roller here to maintain lumbar position. But what we're going to do here, we're just going to relax the neck, hand out about 90 degrees here, opposite hand on top. What we're going to do is we're just going to open up, rotating, looking at the hand, and then once you get your mid-range, nice relaxing breath out. You rotate back over, touch the hand, big breath in through the belly into the upper chest, rotate, open up, and exhale. So again, repeating about 6 to 8 reps on each side. That'll be a nice exercise again to loosen up the upper back, especially like I said, if you're a runner in this hunch position, it'll help open you up a little bit. So those are 5 awesome prep exercises to do before any type of workout, indoors, outdoors, just to prevent your body from injury and get you nice and warm. Thanks guys.